All eyes on Doge. Big runner. To the moon. Whew. Doge still going up. All eyes on Doge. Still big runner. To the moon. Keep going up. Going up. All eyes on Doge. Dogecoin. Upward movement in Doge. Dogecoin. Up. All eyes on Doge. Dogecoin. Upward movement in Doge. Dogecoin. 42.69. All eyes on Doge. Dogecoin.
Hey everybody, Chris here. Welcome on a Monday afternoon. How's everybody doing? I'm doing okay. Hey, we had a good weekend. I missed the pump on Friday. Sorry, I was in a car. Cannot live stream from the car. But I'm here today. So today we are going to try and figure out where this market's going from here. Are we going to go up from here? Are we going down from here? Or is this going to bump around here in the low, or just below 9 cents? We're at 8.9 cents now for Dogecoin, 8.9 cents for Doge. As we begin today on Monday, hello again, everyone. We're going to talk about Doge. We're going to talk about Bitcoin. We're going to talk about this Wyckoff thing. I showed a Wyckoff chart on this morning's video and got some comments on it, but it's a thing. It's a thing. We have others predicting, of course, Bitcoin. And then what's going on with this clean core zone frontier, former Dogecoin treasury. If you didn't hear from last week, I will update you on that as well. So let me drop down here in the corner and make the chart nice and big. And we will begin. Dogecoin at 8.89 now, 8.89. As we begin in Bitcoin is at 78,600. So the yellow line here, for those that don't know, when we were live on Wednesday, last Wednesday, and we had the first big spike during the Kriss live stream, I snapped some fib lines to figure out, well, after that first big run, if we went higher, where could we go? But if we did a pullback directly after Wednesday, how low would we drop? And so those lines showed up here. The blue line would be support, and the yellow line would be resistance up here if we indeed moved up. We did not pull back down after Wednesday. We did not pull back down. We instead moved up. So with the move up, we pretty much are right around that line. And Bitcoin has been trading up and down right around that line since Friday night. So could we see Bitcoin actually come back to 68,250 on a big drop? There are some who are calling for that. Dogecoins, again, 9.22 cents, which is where Doge has been trading since Friday evening. But we're having a little weakness right now, a little weakness in Doge as we've dropped below 9 cents. Bitcoin, meanwhile, has traded up a little higher. So Bitcoin's actually over the yellow line, which means that Bitcoin dominance is back up over 60%. So Bitcoin showing a little more strength here on the short term here on Monday. We have a lot of other cryptos we can take a look at. We'll look at Pepe. Pepe has been holding up pretty strong. And we'll look at a bunch of others. But that's where we begin today on Kriss Live. Go ahead and vote in the poll. I've got a poll going here where you think Dogecoin is going to trade from here this week. I'd like to know what you think. Will we be higher on Friday? Will we be lower on Friday? Or is it just going to be about the same with the sideways stuff? So let's go ahead and give a vote in the poll, and we'll be checking in on that. So where do we begin? Let's begin with the top 10 cryptos. And Dogecoin is still number 10. Yes, Dogecoin is still the 10th largest cryptocurrency. For those who think Dogecoin is dead, I'm not hearing that anymore. Funny. You get a 30% pump and it's just like, hey, what happened? Not getting any of those 3-cent Dogecoin predictions again. It's just like amazing how those accounts just kind of disappear when you get a big pump like we had late last week. It's amazing. I mean, I already missed those guys. Oh no, I like that. Oh no, not here. Not here. Zcash is making a run for Dogecoin though, but Zcash is at 13.6 billion market cap. Doge is at 15.2, and Zcash went up 57% over the last 7 days. Hyperliquid is at 19.57 there, Ryan. 19.5. So 15.2 up to 19.5. Hyperliquid might be tough to catch. But if Doge goes on a next run, then maybe we catch Hyperliquid. But there's Doge right here, still the 10th largest cryptocurrency. And that is what we got. Bitcoin, Ethereum, XRP, Dogecoin hold ground on a low volatility Monday. Actually, the volume was still kind of up a bit compared to where we were earlier in August. So at least that was the volume. The price didn't move because we pretty much traded sideways. So there was low volatility in terms of price movement today. Because it was a lot of sideways today. And again, we're just showing some weakness here this afternoon, as there was a drop here right around 1 o'clock, again, taking out some leveraged long trades. That's what we saw. Crypto Fear and Greed Index is in greed. All of a sudden, we went from extreme fear to fear and then greed, just like that. Last week, we were in fear. Now we're in greed. There was no neutral. We just went right by neutral. We're in greed already, just like that. Greed. We are greedy. It's still August. It's still the summer, 2026. It's pretty crazy. Pretty crazy how that works. So Bitcoin. On some exchanges, Bitcoin actually did hit 80,000, but on most exchanges, it got to like 79,990. It did not quite hit 80,000. But this is the first time in the last 3 months that Bitcoin was sniffing at 80K. And that move up, of course, took out some more shorts. However, from what I'm seeing on other accounts on X, there's big sell walls up here. There are a huge amount of limit orders that are for Bitcoin to sell. And my guess is there was some big sell orders put on some exchanges at 79,990, so that Bitcoin got rejected right there. Bitcoin got rejected because of the sell orders. So if people were looking for 80K Bitcoin to sell, take profit, buy back in at a lower price, that's the kind of thing. These huge limit orders are set up here. So Bitcoin to get over 80K is going to be quite the buying that needs to happen in order to get over that level. So that's on Bitcoin. We do have Chiefy saying, look, don't get fooled by the Bitcoin pump. There's another one. The bearish structure is still in play. Overall, it's still lower highs and lower lows. We shall see what the next move is. But it is a lower high at 80K. So let me zoom this in a little bit. So at 80K, it's a lower high from May, which was 83K. So on a big picture, it's still a lower high. And if we continue to have lower highs and lower lows, then we're still in a bear market. And so there's a lot of accounts that still believe this, that still believe that Bitcoin's rejected at 80K and we're going to see lower. How low that goes, that we don't know. But there are still a lot of accounts calling for this kind of pullback, and this would be through September. It's not happening next week. It would be through September, and that we might hit that lowest low maybe the beginning of October. So yeah, that's the big picture for Bitcoin. He's not the only one saying it, though. We've got Lofty as well, pretty much saying the same thing, that the bottom is not in yet. This was a bull trap, the third major bull trap, again, a lower high, and that we are going to retrace lower. So there are a number of accounts still showing this. Meanwhile, others have flipped their thought. Ben Cowan says, maybe the low is already in now. Where Kriss already said the Bitcoin low was already in for this cycle. But again, we'll see how it plays out from here. But don't be surprised if price does retrace a bit, because we still have an overall kind of weakness in the market. It was a nice few days, and we held up over the weekend. And on liquidity, in terms of liquidations, there's quite a few above, but there's more below, particularly down at like 78.4 and down to 73.8. And of course, huge ones way over at 64. I think that's where we saw the biggest ones on the heat map. We'll check the heat maps as well, but that is, there's more on the long side that could be taken out on liquidations. Meanwhile, August is typically a bad month. As I showed in my August price prediction video, there were 4 consecutive Augusts where Bitcoin has been in the red. Today, or this month so far, Bitcoin is clearly up in the green, 25%, up 25% for the month of August, which is quite the reversal. That is the highest that we've had for the month of August since 2017, which was a bull market year. So to have a 25% August for Bitcoin in a bear market year is quite a move. That's why many think this isn't going to hold. And in the following week, that 25% is actually going to go down. Still may end up in the green by the end of August, but would be lower than what the percent currently shows. Meanwhile, over in Ethereum, we have our friend Tom Lee. He's enjoying his Bitmain company stock is up. He's enjoying the higher price on ETH, although he's still down billions of dollars on his ETH investments. But when the ETH price goes up, Bitmain goes up. He owns a crap ton of Bitmain stock, obviously. He says the 30% weekly gain for Ethereum historically signals the start of a much larger move. The start of a much larger move. And, well, I mean, he's been bullish since December. So I don't give him a lot of credence for what he says, because he's always saying it's going to go higher. And I mean, he was saying it right before the bear market. He was talking super cycle and all this stuff, and none of that played out. Eventually, he's going to be right. Eventually, he's going to be right. But ETH did okay. this past week. But what's ETH going to do from here? It's fallen back below 2,500, which it came up over today, but it was over 2,500 here on Friday as well with the big pump. So again, we'll look at these patterns and we'll try and figure this out in just a little bit. But that's our friend Tom Lee again calling for big runs up like 167% from here. It's like what? What? And again, just to go back to my prediction, is we're in a bear market, and that in my view, probably about a year and a half from now, we're going to be up much higher on Doge. And that's still my forward thinking, is that Doge is going to go up. But it's going to be a year and a half from now before we see really big gains. Most likely. That's what we've seen in the past. That's how my 3.5-year cycle on Dogecoin works. But we can enjoy the gains we had. 30% is pretty good in a bear market. However, we could see a retrace. Half, 3/4 of those gains we could lose during a bear market if indeed the bear market continues. Meanwhile, over with CleanCore dumps entire Dogecoin treasury. So this is the Zone stock that was a Dogecoin treasury. They bought a crap ton of Doge, 463 million Dogecoin they had in their treasury. 463 million. Guess what? They sold it all. They sold it all. 463 million Doge. But you read into the details, and they didn't sell now with the price high. No, they sold when the price was low, down at 7 cents. So they missed out on huge gains if they just held until now, because they are transitioning to AI, and they have a deal in place for an AI data center. So they needed the money. They needed the cash. And so they sold all their Dogecoin. They're also next week changing their name. They're not going to be called CleanCore anymore. They're going to be called the Zone Frontier. They are embracing the Zone ticker that they already have on their stock. And now they're changing their name. Next week, they are going to be called Zone Frontier. But they now have absolutely zero Dogecoin in their account. So we're not going to talk about it anymore. Unless the Zone stock does something crazy. Because some of you still hold it. I still have some as well. And I would like to see Zone actually turn around and go up so I can get my money back. But that's the news there. Meanwhile, just a reminder, if you're chasing meme tokens over on Robinhood Chain or Pump Fund, just remember, Coinfession says Pump Fund ruined my life. I once had over 20,000 euro, and now I have almost nothing left. I lost not only my money, but also my time, my hope, my peace of mind. Right now, I honestly don't know what to do anymore, trying to figure out how to start over. Because he went chasing the stupid meme tokens. And if you don't get the right one, out of the thousands, hundreds of thousands, or whatever there is over there, you're going to lose. So for all the accounts that are showing Cash Cat or whatever meme tokens are actually going up, there's thousands that people put money in that end up going to zero. And those really do go to zero. because the creators just take all the profits. So that is a reminder. Don't go playing in that casino, because that casino is rigged against you, at least in the main cryptos. Although it's still kind of a casino, you at least have a chance. Right? If you buy on spot. Now, if you're buying leverage, if you're doing leverage stuff, that's on you. I do not trade leverage. I don't short. I did swing trade a little Dogecoin, and I'm down on that. I'm waiting to see what happens. If it goes down from here, we will see. So Zcash did not almost pass Dogecoin today, low roller. There was a mistake on the coin market cap. Sometimes they use the wrong amount of Dogecoin. If you look over here and you see, oh, it just went down again. See, it just went to 155. There's 171 billion Dogecoin. It went down, it flips and it goes back down to 155 for circulating supply. I don't know why coin market cap does this. There's 171 million or billion Dogecoin now. So that number, 13.85, we just looked at it. We just looked at it like 15 minutes ago, and it was 15 billion. So it's a mistake in coin market cap. And I don't know why the Dogecoin supply keeps changing from 155 to 171 and then back. At least you can see it just change back. So, yeah. So there's that problem coin market cap has. So, yeah, well, they were 2 billion behind just 20 minutes ago. So, yeah, that's a problem. It's a coin market cap problem. I don't know why that keeps doing that, but that is a problem. So let's do some Q&A. What's going on here? What is going on? We got 06767. Yes, we did, Maramello. And that was the low of the bear market. 06767. Yes. Mizda, how are you? I'm postponing the triangle calculation until next spring. Jabroni says Doge is in a bear market and Bitcoin is in a bull market. No, actually, you zoom out far enough that it's pretty much the same. It's pretty much the same. Big run up from Wednesday to Friday, sideways since then. Bitcoin, big run up, sideways. It's still pretty much sideways. Yeah, Bitcoin went just a touch higher. Again, hit a sell wall. It's coming back down. They're practically very similar charts. Are we booming? We are, crypto dogs. We are. So, CDC, Survivor. I already called the bottom was in. You haven't been paying attention. You haven't been here enough. But I already called it. So, TOS, I sold 600,000 Doge at 0.93 and have limited buys to DCA down to 7.8. You are doing the swing thing. We'll see if we get down to 8 cents. But DCAing, not a bad strategy. But we'll see whether the price does indeed go down from here. Beeb, I just bought Mego on the afternoon dip on Robinhood, but it isn't giving it to me. Buying in after hours. Oh, you got to use a limit order. You can't do a market order after hours. You have to do limit order. That's how Robinhood works. After hours. Limit order. So Mego. Yeah, so Mego right now, yeah, $1.10 was the last purchase. Someone got 100 shares at $1.05. So what price do you want? You go into Robinhood and you set a limit order to buy, let's say at $1.08, 100 shares, whatever. That's how you do it. You got to set a limit order. All right. Give that a try. The 4-hour on Doge looks a bit like a bull flag. The 4-hour looks like a bull flag. Yeah, we can draw that. Oh, dun, 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 dun. So that, right? And of course the mast is like is angled because, you know, it just is on that. Oops, wrong green. But it is kind of setting up for, yeah, some kind of flag here. But how this trades out of this is going to tell what the next move may be. So we can watch that. We can watch that. But yes, on the 4-hour chart, that's a pretty clean, more of a pennant, I think, than a flag. We call that a pennant if the bottom and top are both sloping. That's a pennant. So CDC. What about Bitcoin Cash? I haven't really looked at BCH. I haven't looked at BCH to see what it did here. Looks pretty much the same as Dogecoin. Pretty much the same. Yep. That's pretty much the same. Showing a little weakness now, just like Doge. Let's see, from the start on Wednesday morning to the top, about 48%. And Dogecoins from, again, Wednesday morning up to the top was 44%. So pretty close to the same. Dogecoin and Bitcoin Cash move the same. Somebody said that Bitcoin did better than Doge. And I was like, no, it did not. 24%. Dogecoin went up 44%. Bitcoin only went up 24%. So Bitcoin did not outperform Dogecoin on the run up last week. Sorry, whoever said that in the comments. That was not correct. The facts are, the numbers show Dogecoin outperformed Bitcoin. So just, again, keeping things clear here, thinking, looking like things are, people could just get misinformed somehow. And so you got to listen to me and keep things real. Michael Saylor is a trend setter. Someone's having fun making AI videos with him. But the bigger news is what's happening with Stretch, because it is indeed, it was climbing up. It was over 97 today with Stretch. So we zoom this thing out and you see that this has been on a nice recovery. It's now higher at 97 than it was before the big drop into the 70s. So whatever Michael Saylor is doing over there at Strategy, it's working, because Stretch is approaching its peg back up between 98 and 100. It's almost there. So, yeah, good for him. Good for him. And any of you who are holding this stretch thing, you can now enjoy your dividends. They're giving them out twice a month now. Twice a month on the dividends. So, yeah, that was the big move. And then because this was doing so well, we ended up with MicroStrategy stock starting to recover from the depths of the bottom when it was down here at $90. It's up to 120. So MicroStrategy stock is trading back up. So it's had a number of good days. And of course, that coincided with Bitcoin, the price of Bitcoin going up as well, because MicroStrategy, again, holds a crap ton of Bitcoin, 850,000 Bitcoin. And so Bitcoin pumps, MicroStrategy stock goes up. So, and of course, Bitmain as well, which we looked at, which is Tom Lee's company, which has the big ETH holding. So ETH goes up, Bitmain goes up as well. So we got all that going on. What else? Has everybody voted in the poll yet? Voted in the poll. What do you think Dogecoin's going to do through this week? You think it's going to go up? You think it's going to go down? You think it's going to go sideways? Put a vote in the poll, and I'll end the poll in about 5 minutes. Okay? So go ahead and get your votes in. Bum, 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 bum. Jam, you're in Pudgy. Now Pengu has gone on a big run, no doubt. Pengu looking pretty nice. It actually climbed up right over a penny. Got over a penny here on Sunday afternoon, and now it's kind of losing some of that momentum. But this second run on Sunday was pretty nice. Pretty nice for Pengu. Up over a penny. So good to see volatility. Sideways is not good at this stage. We'll see. Now, does it get up to $3? I am not ready to start predicting $3 Dogecoin yet. But you know me, right? I tend to keep things real here. We'll see how that works. I'm not like $3 yet. Manuel says we haven't experienced enough pain. We go lower. So that would be a sensible thing to see, that we actually see this kind of move back to the mid-low eights over the next day or two. That would make sense to me, and get everyone thinking, oh yeah, it's still crypto, it's still August. This was a nice move, but that would be how I would think we would see Dogecoin kind of bleed out and not quite going to the moon, not a big run up. We did have it last week, but yeah. The pump is just for the alts to hang while Bitcoin pukes. Again, many alts have outperformed Bitcoin. Bitcoin today showed some strength versus the alts, as some of the alts sold off a little bit more. But when we go down, yeah, most likely the alts would go down harder than Bitcoin. That's typically how it works. So, yeah, Florida's not going to go Democrat. I'm not worried about it, Laurel. Florida's not going Democrat. I'm not confident about the yellow zone. I push at least a year out. Not taking any chances. My girlfriend does stocks to buy Megal. No, she's not buying any Chinese companies. I told her about Megal. I told her about Xpeng. And she's like, I'm not buying any Chinese companies. And she's Chinese. And she's like, yeah, no. Chinese Taiwan. And she's like, yeah, I'm not buying Chinese companies. The Clarity Act vote is September 15th. The next Fed meeting is September 16th. I think that's a coincidence more than anything else. But we could see a lot of volatility that week, that's for sure. Particularly if Clarity Act fails to pass. That could be a tough week for crypto. So, thoughts on the GTA 6 token? No, I don't follow those. Again, see, Pump Fun ruined my life. I don't go chasing these tokens. I don't chase them. So that's just me. Could money be made on a GTA 6 token? Maybe, but you don't know who created it. If you could do it all over again, would you have put your tax return payment into a Robinhood high interest account to earn interest before making your long-term tax payment? High interest account to earn interest. That's what I did. That's what I did. I put it into Robinhood. Well, I actually put the chunk into Robinhood that I didn't need to pay the tax. The rest of it was just in my bank account, but it wasn't there very long. So, is that right? Yeah. So I bought the house. I had the leftover. When I sold the house, I only had a few months. So, yeah, I only had a few months. And I had to, putting that much money onto Robinhood is not easy. It's not like a quick transfer. Now, I like their security. They wanted to make sure that it was me who was actually doing this. But yeah, but they were good. And they actually called me and they were like, is this you? Is it you who's really doing this? I was like, yeah, it's me. About Doge at 7 cents. Should I sell now and buy when it goes down? No, Brian, that is risky. It's risky. You buy at 7, you sell at 9. Does it really go back down or not? That's what we don't know. We don't know if what I drew here is actually going to happen. So that is called a swing trade, and there's a risk involved. I actually sold some back over here. I sold some of my stash back over here because I didn't know on Wednesday that it was going to do this on Thursday and then that on Friday. I had no idea. And I was like, I'll be cute, right? I'll try and gain some coins selling over here. And the price just kept going up the following day and then Thursday and then on Friday. So yeah, that was not smooth swing trade. But I just thought, God, that pump up here to 8 cents just looks so good. And it went higher. So I got a ways to wait to see whether indeed goes down, but I don't think it's going to go back down into the 7s. I don't know. If it does, awesome. But I may be buying back in at a higher price. So I want to do some more swing trade on Doge. Well, Yeely, again, just like I said, it's a risky. We don't know what it's going to do. We don't know what it's going to do. Total crypto cap. Climbing stairs. Climbing stairs. Bitcoin 60%. So it's really more of a Bitcoin chart. It's very similar to Bitcoin. Jordan is the best crypto analyst ever. Jabroni, what about me? Hey, I like Jordan. Jordan's cool. However, Jordan is known to be wrong as well. So there's that. He's one that was calling for Bitcoin to go much lower. Not happening. I called the bottom. So you got to at least say Jordan and Kriss, even. Okay? My two favorite. How about that? My two favorite crypto analysts, Jordan and Kriss. I hope to swing trade hype. Over to Doge. Let's see what happens. Hype hit a new all-time high, right? On hype? Yeah, it did. It hit a new all-time high on Sunday at 83.46, according to this. Almost 83.50. And you want to sell at 85. It's sitting at 77.90 right now. Again, this week, right? What's going to happen? Are prices going to go higher this week? Yeah, let's get $1 first before we start talking about more. Agreed. Dogecoin will flip-flop between 8 and 10 cents until ZEC surpasses it in market cap. Maybe. Zcash has been on a roll, no doubt. Wait, hey, how's your lighter token? You finally hit a winner. Awesome. Good for you. I'm glad to hear it. So much better than Cardano, isn't it? Doesn't it feel so much better? Good for you. I know you were talking about it last week, and yet it's up. So good. Pump Fund changed so many lives. Yeah. Don't go chasing waterfalls. Oh. Who actually sang that? What's the name of that? What's the name of that band? Yeah, I don't remember. Waterfall song. TLC. TLC is the name of the band. Waterfalls. A famous R&B pop song by the American girl group TLC, released in 1995. TLC. Don't go chasing waterfalls. You got 10 crow for diamonds? Yeah, I got I think I got 7.3 crow coins on my last silver box. 7.3. Oh, cool. That's what I thought. Plan to do the same after this bull run next yearish. See how long it takes. So we'll see how long. Isn't this just gambling? Of course it is. Of course it is, Nicholas. But so's the stock market too. It's the same. Buying stocks is gambling. It's been going on for hundreds of years, buying stocks. It's gambling. So's this. It's the same. It's the same. Yes. A little more volatility here than most stocks, although some stocks are pretty volatile too. But yeah, Brian, life is a gamble too. Exactly. We don't know how long we're going to be here, so let's have some fun while we're here, huh? Why don't we do that? Let's have some fun. I changed my life gambling on Dogecoin and crypto. I changed my life financially. So everything from here for me is gravy. So if I have to rebuy my 400,000 Doge at a little higher price, that's okay. I know Doge is going to be much higher next year, year after anyway. So that's how I'm trading it. I tried to be cute. I said in a bear market during the summer, if you see a big spike in the price, most likely it's going to come back down. So I traded it. And I'm on the backside of that right now. But yeah, we'll see. Did you ever calculate the price of Doge without the Elon Musk hype in 2021? Yes, I did. 35 cents. 35 cents. Do you know why I say 35 cents? 35 cents is because if we go to the Dogecoin chart and we go to the weekly and we go back to 2021, what a golden year that was. Right? I got a big X there, like that didn't happen. And here we go, the second run right there. The second run that Dogecoin had. Remember, Bitcoin went to $69,000. Dogecoin went to 35 cents. So that second run that Dogecoin had right there topped off at 35 cents. So that's why I say the high for Doge in 2021, bull market, if you discount the Elon hype, 35 cents right there. So there you go. It's good to revisit that every now and then, just to remember that indeed 2024, when we went up to 48 cents, that was indeed the next bull cycle. But again, it was a little bit overhyped again. Elon was there, right? So we got those big green candles going all the way up. Yeah, we had that. That happened. And it came down after that. It started the run from 9 cents, went up to 48, came all the way back to 15, 16 cents. And then it started chucking its way back up. 2025, bull market. And then we had October 10th. And it just crashed the whole altcoin market completely. So, yeah. We did have that. My two favorite crypto analysts are Kriss and the blockchain backer. Blockchain backer. I don't know who that is. That's good. What's the next price you're going to take profit at? A-star, we're going to start looking at that in the fall. Okay, we need confirmation that the bear market is over before I start doing my calculations for the next bull cycle. So I'm going to start looking at that stuff in the fall. I am always right. Always watch the bottom. All right, Super Dave. You're always right. No, just kidding. I'd be really happy with 35 to 50 cent Doge again. Hey, if Dogecoin goes up to 50 cents again, I will have sold before. I'm not waiting for 50 cents again. I'll sell at 42 again. I'm not waiting for 50 again. I'll still have some Doge. I'm never going to sell all my Doge. But I always keep some. You never know what's going to happen. Hello, Javier. How are you? always catch the bottom. I got close back here. Again, the bottom was 06767 right here. 06767 was the bottom, and I bought, but I was on Robinhood, and you can't get the price. So I ended up getting it at like 684. I think I got 684 on that purchase right there. So that was indeed August 1st. Like I said, beginning of August, going to have a drop. There it was. And I bought right there. Rayon thinks Bitcoin and Dogecoin is going to take out the low. For those that weren't here earlier, afterwards, you can always scroll back to see the look at the chart that Chiefy has here of a lower low, and Lofty also has a lower low on his chart. So we looked at those earlier. Again, just two other ideas that say the bear market isn't over yet and that this is a bull trap. This is a bull trap that happened, and price is going to come back down. So again, that's just those opinions. There are other opinions where this is a breather and we're going higher from here. Bear market is over. There are those as well. So, yeah. I love that skit in that Will Ferrell movie where the dude constantly references TLC songs but doesn't know. Yeah. Thank you, everybody, for TLC. I looked it up. I got it. Just didn't remember. Doge is going back down, Johnny says. This was just a short-term pump for giggles. Shorts being taken out, probably main reason it went up so high. All right, we'll see. But I tend to agree. Took out a lot of shorts. You still remember the answer from the Robinhood quiz. Alexander Hamilton. Yeah, what year did the stock market actually start trading? Remember that? What year did the stock market, U.S. stock market, start trading? Wasn't it like 1790 or something like that? That's what I remember for some reason. Was 1790, was that the answer? Yeah. I do not think this is out of the ordinary. This type of counter trend rally has happened before. Yes. And I showed it during the live stream last week. And it was on Wednesdays or Thursdays. I forget which one. Because we had the same thing happen in 2022. Dogecoin went up in price and it came almost all the way back down. And that was during a bear market in 2022. This still a bear market in 2026, and that we would expect price to come back down. That's why I'm still buying every day, even though it pumped 40%. At the end of the day, 9 or 7, it's going to be exponentially higher in a couple of years. Johnny, that's a great attitude. I love it. I love it. And that is how I was buying back in 2023, 2024. That's how I was buying. This time, because I did so well last time, like I say, there's gravy this time, and I'm being a little cute. I'm being just a little cute here. But I did get the bottom, or close enough to it, at least the bottom so far, if indeed that is the bottom. But I was being a little cute on a swing trade. We'll see if it comes back down. It still might. I agree, without a narrative, Dogecoin won't run above 45 cents. I mean, that's what we see on the charts. That's exactly what we see on the charts. If there is indeed a specific catalyst that's only Dogecoin, that, let's say, has Elon behind it, then yeah, anything's in play because we saw the hype back on previous runs. So yeah. Jose, each run will get smaller, trap more retail. Yep. Again, it's a bear market. So again, once we get into 2027, yes, we will have a pullback. I still believe in the summer of 2027, but prices will be going higher. Elon will do it again. Why not? I like that. Why not? Yes. Ansem is my new meme coin play. Good luck with that. I don't know what that guy's doing. He's trying to create some kind of platform following the stupid meme token because it did very well. A lot of people bought it. He made a ton of money. I'm not buying it. Yeah, Zcash hasn't hit its all-time high yet because that was years ago. That's right. That was still years ago. The odds of Doge going to zero. Zero. There's zero odds of Doge going to zero. It's physically impossible for Dogecoin to go to zero. It's just, it's impossible. Everybody would have to sell all their Dogecoin. And that's not going to happen. Did I buy more Pepe? Nope. I got my Pepe. I'm just enjoying it. I'm still stock swing trading. I'm still not convinced this market is on a bull run yet. So hi, Will. How are you? Next run should be 25 cents. And that's about where I am for the spring of 2028 is around that price. But again, I'm going to map it out later this fall. Bitcoin at 80K. I don't think it will dump 50% again to 40K. I agree, Javier. That's why I say I think the Bitcoin bottom is already in. We're not going to see that big. We're not going to see that big of a drop. So yeah. A 3x from here, not bad. If it can do a 3x between now and the spring of 2028, let's say April 2028, that would be awesome. That would be awesome for Doge. 1791. I said 1790. You say 1791. 1792. Johnny. So yeah, 1792. There you go. Jam Shells. New York Stock Exchange traces origin to the signing of the Buttonwood Agreement. 1792. All right. It was something like that. I was close. But I remember that Robinhood quiz. Yes. 42-cent Doge would absolutely work. Hey, if by 2029 we see 42-cent Doge again, awesome. Awesome. Vision Pulse says we're going to 44K. Yeah, he's one of the 4-year cycle guys, just like Leia. And, well, Ben Cowan was calling for it. Jordan Comrade was calling for it. The lower prices. But that is pretty, that's pretty low at this point. Pretty low. This time you have less conviction. I have less conviction about what? I have less conviction the price is going up from here. I think it's going to retrace. I've been pretty clear about that, haven't I? I swung traded even. So I do not have conviction that price is going to continue up higher from here. You got that? And that's stupid. Watch what they do, not what they say. I do what I say, dude. I always do what I say. I don't know how you think that I'm doing it differently. I've got an open swing trade for a lower price. I think the price is going to go down. When am I planning to buy Doge again? When the price goes down. I believe the Doge price is going to go down. Will it go down to 8 cents? Will it dip below 8 cents? Maybe. If it goes that low, it starts dipping into the 7s. I'll start buying again. Again, I called for the first week of September as the next buy time based on the calendar. And so we got to let this work out another week and a half or so, and I'll be buying. I do it and I say it, right? I do both. Wow. I don't know how you get that from me. I mean, there's a lot of other of these crypto content creators out there, both on X and YouTube, that you have no freaking idea what they're actually doing. No idea. They're just making stuff up, especially the XRP to $100 gang. It's just like, really? And you still watch that stuff, Will? I don't know how you do that. XRP's not going to $100. King of Kings. I don't know. I think it's going to pull back some. Going to wait to buy. If it goes up, so be it. That's it. That's right. That's it. If it goes up, so be it. So, yeah. Hype is the Solana of this bear market. Actually, Solana last bear market went down to $8. It didn't hit the all-time high last bear market, low roller. No, I was there. I remember. Bottom of the bear market was November 2022. Bitcoin went to 15,600. Solana dropped to $8. Solana didn't start running until the next year. And that was because of Pump Fund. Pump Fund launches, Solana goes crazy. So Solana had an early bull run, but it was not during the bear market. So just keeping you straight there. But you're right. Solana did well. Hype's had a great run. This bear market, yes. It's going either sideways for a while, then down, or just up. It won't be that easy for them. We'll see. Again, as I said on Friday, same thing was like, you have to let these things play out over time. It's not going to immediately drop back down to 7 cents in the next day or two. You have to let it play out. So, small reverse head and shoulder puts a follow through up to 14 cents or back to 6. Yeah, see, that's about reverse head and shoulders. It's like, it could go one way or it could go the other day. I don't really look at those patterns. Those are just W's or M's. That's how natural trading happens. You see those all the time. So yeah. I don't watch too much Ben Cowan. I catch a little bit every now and then, but I don't follow him that closely. I sort of aware what he does because a lot of people come in here and they talk about him. And so every once in a while, I watch him. All he does is look at the past. That's all he does. He doesn't follow any news. He doesn't do any forward looking technical analysis. It's all about the past. Because it happened before, it's going to happen again. Now, he always says over it, it may not. Okay. And he says, oh, I may be wrong. Then what good is he? But you think the bull is back. Okay, that's your opinion. I do not share your opinion. But I don't think we're going to lower lows either. like a lot of these other guys. $3x is pretty bad for an altcoin, actually. I didn't say to the cycle high. I just said the next year and a half, dude. The next year and a half. You think Pengu's going to at least 10x this cycle? Maybe. So just buy a bunch of that. Forget Dogecoin and just buy Pengu then. If you think it's going to 10x. Me, I like to have a little bit more of a portfolio, a little bit of, some diversity, because you don't know which is the one that's going to do the best today. You think it's Pengu. It might not. These guys in the chat know that I talk about Pengu a lot, and I'd like to have Pengu. It went crazy last week with everything else, and I hadn't loaded up on it yet. That's okay. Ben predicted a counter trend rally would happen in August. I predicted a little rally in August too. The rally was more than I thought it was going to be, but I did predict it. You can go back to my video on August 1st that I made. And I said that. Nobody predicted 40% rise in mid-August. Nobody predicted that. The blockchain backer for XRP, 300,000 subscribers. Oh, so he does XRP stuff. That's probably why I haven't heard of him. People say the 4-year cycle will be broke if Bitcoin bottomed already. I argue, why can't it just be around 4 years? Right, exactly. Why can't it be? And that this that we had starting last Wednesday was an early turnaround into a bull market. That can be. That can be. $0.42 Doge is going to be hard. There's twice the amount of Dogecoin out there. No, not twice the amount. William. There's never been half as many Dogecoin. Dogecoin doesn't compound that fast. Just keeping it real. But if you do your research and you look and see how much Dogecoin there was, the last time Doge went crazy, it was not half the count that we have now. Sketchy Mondays. Which way are we heading? It looks like we're still going sideways here. That's what it looks like. I'm going to get rid of this thing. This is in the way. I don't need that. But it looks like we're still kind of drifting sideways. Kriss says and does what he says. Yes, I do, William. And I back it up. I post my screenshots of my buys and sales. Not a lot of crypto analysts do that. But I do. Arrow. Yeah, I hear great things about Arrow. Good luck with your Arrow. Again, in a bull market, most alts are going to do very well. We just don't know which ones are going to be the best. We don't know. Pudgy penguins are not the new Doge. No, there's no new Doge. Pudgy penguin, the Pengu is a token. It's not a coin. It doesn't have its own blockchain. It doesn't have the family and history that Dogecoin does. It's not the new Doge. It's its own thing. I think it's very good, and I think it's going to do very good, but don't compare it with Doge. It's not Doge. Why would we all be able to know when the bottom is? They say that's impossible. Bottoming early would be a curveball. Doesn't mean 4-year cycles broke, just not perfect. Yep. But I made a prediction of prices that would be the bear market bottoms, and they both hit. Bitcoin hit, Dogecoin hit. That's just how it worked out. Just like I think crypto prices are going to be lower the first week of September. Things work out that way. It's hard for some of you to believe that still. I get that, but sometimes things just work out that way. Hey, Josh, how are you? 685 was a gift. Yeah, it was. I'm not waiting for it to drop back in the sixes to buy more. Hype pumped because of Trump. Yeah, but hype was already up, even before Trump said anything. Hype was doing very well. I mean, that's how it became a top 10 coin. That was before Trump said anything. The next, the most recent pump that brought it to a new all-time high, that was because of Trump. If it goes up from here, I'll close out my limit buys and say F it all and go all in on Jasmine. Yeah. Jasmine did well as well, even if it's getting delisted from the Korean exchanges. Oh, it was in my buy zone, definitely. I should have listened to myself and bought. Yep. Look at the run Jasmine did from the bottom. 40%. About the same as Doge. 40%. That's pretty nice. But I do think XRP will go to $10. All right, well. Kriss Pax does not. Oh, no, I don't $100, right? $10, yeah. XRP will get to $10. Probably not this cycle, though. Give it another one. But not 100. Is there anything new on X payments? Not that I've heard. Do they have all the licenses now? No. AI is saying the Doge 1 mission is September. AI is wrong. And I've shown that before. Grok is wrong. And I proved Grok wrong. I told Grok that Grok was wrong. And in fact, the head of Geometric, Samuel Reed, responded to my response, my reply, that date was wrong. And he said, correct. There's no Doge 1 mission in September. It's going to be next year, if it happens at all. So. I sold my stocks, went in on Solana when it was 70-ish. Yeah, and it went up to what, 200 something. So it was good. Do you believe in the 4-year cycle? Yes, I do. But it doesn't have to be the lowest of lows in October for it to still be a 4-year cycle. As someone said earlier, it doesn't have to be the exact calendar date. We had a bear market in 2026, just like we had in 2022, just like we had in 2018. Close enough. 4-year cycle. Close enough. Handle what you can do. How are you? Not gone up like Bitcoin has gone sideways, down a bit. Everyone should be in Bitcoin. You do you. But you do know you were wrong on your comment earlier. The Dogecoin did outperform Bitcoin in this latest bull run. Doge went up 40%. Bitcoin went up 25%. So just saying. Just saying. Do I share all my buys with Patreon? Nope. I just post them on X. Certainty is the gambler's delusion. Investors are not gamblers, nor are they certain. Taters and eggs. How are you? That's a good quote. If you're certain something's going to happen, then it most certainly is not going to happen that way. That's what I say. If you're certain something is going to happen, then most certainly it's not going to happen that way. Delisting made it scary. I know, and so I didn't buy. And even though it was in my yellow box, I started to question myself. And then what did it do? Zoom. My advice, never get into crypto. It's pure gambling. I wouldn't be sitting where I am now in Florida if it wasn't for crypto. So there's that. So there is that. If you don't take a risk at some point in your life, then you just keep plodding along. You just plod along day after day if you don't take a risk. I took a risk. It paid off. I'm just saying. Formerly MB, how are you? Good to see you. Hello. XRP is going to 10x. 10x from where? From the low over the summer, or 10x from here? Because it's up over, it's at $1.50 now. And again, I called the fib extension up to this line at $1.55. It hit it. But yeah, we hit $1. So you think it's going to $10 from the summer low, or do you think it's going to $15 from where we are now? I told Grok it was wrong about a song from the movie She's Having a Baby. Grok can be wrong because Grok goes and references articles that may or may not be factual. So yeah. Yeah, check didn't go up. Yeah, Yeely, I feel it. I feel it. I'm just going to let it ride. Wait. Dogecoin can go up 100% and still underperform Bitcoin in the long run. Yes, it can. You got to know when to flip back from Doge to Bitcoin. You got to know when to make that flip. I've been talking about that. I've been talking about it for a year. My whole plan. I want Bitcoin in my portfolio, but I'm not buying Bitcoin. I'm buying Dogecoin. And then when Dogecoin outperforms Bitcoin on a big run, then I'll flip over to Bitcoin. And then I'll ride the remaining Bitcoin bull market. That's what I'm doing. $0.13 by Friday. So you voted. Up. Well, let's see. If I end the poll, I'll end the poll. Up 34%. Down 46%. Sideways 20%. Interesting. So money, you're second place on the up. More downs than ups. Rumors, USA wants to pay off its national debt via XRP. No. Those are, no. Rumors, those are XRP people making crap up. That's what that is. What do you think about the 7% API? Awesome if you want to do it. It's like, at this point, though, I am slowly buying into the crypto market where I'm going to get better than 7%. So I'm not doing that. I'm making my 3.5%, 3.75% or whatever on my buying power right now, but I have it liquid and available to do stock swing trading and buy crypto. So that's what I'm doing. I took 500 XRP that I bought $1, sold $1.30, and then it went up to 170. That happens. XRP is not the real Bitcoin, jabroni. No. Bitcoin's the OG. XRP is fabricated by a company, and they can mint more XRPs whenever they want. It's like, come on. Yep. Bitcoin is a more valuable asset than Dogecoin. That is true. That is true. But in a short period of time, Dogecoin can outperform Bitcoin. And so you can make more with Dogecoin than Bitcoin over certain periods of time. I've been talking about this. For the past year, I've been talking about this, preparing for exactly what's going to happen here. Again, am I 100% certain? No, but I'm playing the odds. I've seen it before. That's what I'm doing. That is what I'm doing. I'm in on and waiting for checkmate as well. I know. God, it's tough, isn't it? Just waiting and waiting and waiting. What's it down at? 1.3 still? Yep, 1.3 still. I did make money on Spell Token, and I took my profit on Spell Token. I did that. The Spell Token went up. I made money on that. My swing trade was good. So now I'm waiting on check. Is it too late to buy more Doges? Mr. Han Daniel, that is up to you, for you to decide what you think it's going to do next. Okay, we're at 897 now. So you decide. Is this the dip below 9 cents? And now we're going to be like going sideways with dips just below 9? Or do you think it's going to drift lower into the mid 8s or possibly lower than that? You have to make that decision yourself. You have to make that decision. There are some here who think it's going back down into the low 7s. I'm not so sure right now, but I'm being patient. And I'm seeing how the first week of September plays out, because historically we have seen the first week of every month through the summer has always shown the lowest crypto prices. Just because we had a 40% pump on Doge, 25% pump on Bitcoin, it doesn't mean these levels are going to hold. And we could see a dip first week of September. So I'm being patient. I'm waiting for that. That's how I'm playing it. XRP in a bear market can go down much worse than Bitcoin. XRP is not a store of value like Bitcoin is. Okay, my opinion, you have yours. Rather the price goes up or down, the heat map makes me think it's going back up. See what we got going on right now. In the last hour, ooh, Cash Cat. Cash Cat has been going up, taking out shorts. For anybody who's in Cash Cat, awesome, good for you. Cash Cat has broken out of its Robinhood chain launch and is now traded on other exchanges and can be shorted. And you can use long leverage as well, but Cash Cat is very volatile right now. Be careful, my friends. In the last hour alone, $665,000 in shorts have gotten liquidated in Cash Cat. Wow. That's crazy. Cash Cat. Ooh. Good luck, my friends. Good luck. Cash Cat. So let's look at the last week. So yeah, so here's the big, and we saw these right down here, 64,800 down to 64,200. Hundreds of millions of dollars. Hundreds of millions of dollars of long leverage trades. That's the biggest target. Now, short term, we got something right here at 75.5, $220 million. But down here, huge, huge amount. I don't say anything above. So there's not much above. It's all down. In my opinion, looking at the heat map, the market makers are going to want to drop the price, at least to 75K and take out that. But 64 is just huge leverage trades down there. Huge. Time to buy Cash Cat. Let's see what it looks like. Cash Cat. You can buy it now. Again, it's broken out. And on that chart. Who else has it? KuCoin has it. There it is. Cash Cat. 21 cents. All-time high. Time to buy. You want to buy the top? You want to buy the top, Ryan? Cash Cat. Cash Cat. So in the month, it's up 300%. Today is the 24th. So we go back to the 24th of July, 350%. 350%. Indeed. Cash Cat. All-time high. And they're taking out the shorts. The market makers could be playing with this thing. Taking out huge shorts. That is a thing. Always by the top. That's what I said with Bitcoin once. Remember that? Am I planning on buying Doge? Yes, next week. Next week into next weekend. I'm buying more Doge. Yes. I still have a couple million Dogecoin to buy. We'll see how it works out. Doge Viking, how are you? You were looking at the Dogecoin heat map. Yeah, you got to zoom out though. Dogecoin. So Dogecoin has shorts up here at 9.5, $4 million. But look at all this down here. Look at all of this down here. Millions of dollars on all this long leverage. See, they flushed out a bunch with that wick. They flushed some out with that wick. But look at all of this down here. Millions of dollars. Long leverage trades on Doge. It's all FOMO into Cash Cat. I ain't buying that. Nope. All-time high. No. They don't have it on Coinbase or Robinhood. So I do have Ledger, just to let you know, the Ledger shop, link in the description below. Ledger's having a sale. If you want to get a Ledger device for safekeeping, crypto hardware wallet, they're having a sale. Now the Nano S Plus that I have, they had lowered their price last year from $79 to $59, and it's still $59. The Nano X that used to be like $119, they lowered it to $99. It's now on sale, 20% off, $79. $79 for a Nano X. Again, use the link below to go right to this page for Ledger if you want to buy a crypto hardware wallet. If you want Gen 5, Flex, or Stacks, you will get a refund in Bitcoin. A refund in Bitcoin. $20 on the Gen 5, $50 on the Flex, $70 on the Stacks. Basically, when you get the device that comes in a box, that box includes a card, and the card will tell you how to claim your Bitcoin. I did that when I got my Ledger, and it worked perfectly. The Bitcoin showed up in my wallet just like it was supposed to. So that is going on right now. They call it a back to school sale. Back to school sale. But yes, that is going on right now. So just letting everybody know. Ledger. You like your Tangem? Awesome. Yeah, I talked to those Tangem guys last year when I was at the Bitcoin conference, and they were supposed to follow up with me, and they never did. And I'm just like, whatever. I don't need another device. I'm happy with my Ledger. Leverage for life. Hey, I would rather not lose all my coins. Because when you get liquidated, you end up with zero. If you do a swing trade, you may end up with some less coins, but not zero. You don't go to zero. So I don't do that. That is a lot of long leverage. Remember to zoom out. Yeah. It's all down there, and they're making a crap ton of money right now on those long leverage trades. If price starts coming down, if I had one of those trades open, I'd be closing it and booking that profit because those market makers would be coming after me. And I'm not going to do that. But I don't leverage trade. If and when we dip, do you recommend Doge over other cryptos? I can only tell you I'm buying Dogecoin. Now, I plan on still buying some Pengu, some Jasmy, and maybe Sui. And that's what I'm looking at. Sui is a longer term. Pengu and Jasmy would be something that I would just see how the next bull market goes. It wouldn't be a longer term hold in the next bull market. Sui I might hold longer. And of course, I'd be doing a Dogecoin to Bitcoin swap and hold the Bitcoin longer. If you look at Bitcoin, it always holds at some type of high level. If you look at Doge, it always goes lower. Yep, that's right. And I've said that. I've said that again and again and again, which is why I'm buying Dogecoin, and I'm going to flip once I get up to a certain level, Dogecoin versus Bitcoin. Then I'm going to flip that to Bitcoin. The rest of the Doge will go up higher, I imagine, and I'll sell some for some profit, and I'll just hold the rest. I'll never be without Dogecoin because you never know what's going to happen. So I'm not ever going to sell it all. But again, that's just me. You haven't been here long enough to hear my whole thing. You should go back and watch some of my older videos because I've mapped all of this out. Hey, Bulldozer, how are you? How are you? Doge looks like it might break out again. Keeps hanging around 9. Yeah, Mamba, maybe this 9 cent line becomes the new 7, and we look for dips below to buy. I want confirmation first week of September that that's indeed what's happening. So I'm waiting. I'm patiently waiting for first week of September. Again, first week of August, we hit a low. First week of July, we hit a low. First week of June, we hit a low. No more ETH. I still have a little ETH left. I'm not buying ETH as a short-term profit. ETH would be a longer-term play, but I'm going to be doing that with Bitcoin and Sweet. That's just me. I don't think ETH is going to 1,500. I don't think it's dropping down that low. So I don't think we're going to see Doge below 7 cents anytime soon or ever. It may never go below 7 cents again. Ever, 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 ever. So you think ETH's going to have its cycle? You think 10,000 ETH, $10,000? That's a 4x from here. That's the same as Doge going to 36 cents from here, which Doge has seen before. ETH has never been to $10,000. That's why I Dogecoin and not ETH. All right. Hey, Red Bull, how are you? What's up? Bulldozer all in a month ago. Awesome. You bought good. Your portfolio is looking pretty fine right now, isn't it? Doing that. Again, I said this cycle, I'm going to spread out my buys. And we'll see what happens. See how it works out. But yeah, all in a month ago, that was good. August 1st was the best time to buy. I should have bought more. No shoulda, woulda, couldas here. No, that's bad thinking. You do the best you can at the time. No shoulda, woulda, couldas. You made the decision you made at the time. So, I mean, nobody knew that the middle of August, Dogecoin was going to go on a 40% run. There was nothing on the charts that said that. That's an anomaly. But it was fun. It was fun, no doubt. Chances are we're going to see it retrace. I've seen this before, but yeah. Shouldn't have sold a bunch. Still a lot. I only own Sol and ETH. No Dogecoin, Mephisto? No Doge? Just a little Doge? I couldn't buy more than what I bought. I could have, but I'm just playing out my whole thesis month after month after month. See what happens. I hate selling before a year, though, for profit when you get taxed more. Yeah. Short-term capital gains is a lot more. Any swing trading I'm doing now, though, I'm offsetting another loss that I've already had on the stock market because I had a big trade going on Circle and I lost a lot on that. So I'm just betting off that. On a Schedule D, it all adds up into the same thing, whether it's a stock or a crypto. And so I'm not paying any taxes on any of my gains until on any of my swing trades, less than a year. I'd like to like zero that out. That'd be good. Right now I'm praying for 8-7. 8-7 to close my swing trade. So you basically made no money for swing trading then because of stocks. Yes. Yep. I got a little greedy with Circle and I made one too many trades at too high of a dollar value. And then that whole thing came out where USDC was going to be replaced by some new stable coin for the whole Visa and MasterCard system. And Circle dropped from $90 to $60. And so I had a big chunk of Circle stock there. So, yep. Now, again, comparing to what I made last year, it's nothing. Absolutely nothing, because I made millions of dollars last year. So I'm just looking at now, this summer, that's what happened. So I sold my Spell token Friday night at 91 yearly. I sold it 91. I bought it at 80, 81, sold at 91. Not as big of a gain as I've made before, but I just felt like when we saw these other cryptos topping out Friday night, I mean, Dogecoin hit 10 cents. I was like, I need to sell the Spell token. It's probably going to come back down. And so that's what I did. So that was a decent swing trade. Now I'm being patient with Checkmate. That's the other one I have open on Coinbase. So that's when I spell that. Canton I haven't really looked at yet. I know I've been seeing its price and how it's been doing well, but I don't know what it's used for, who's using it. I don't know. It hadn't been on my radar screen, so I just haven't. You made 1,000 off the VTI ETF. And you bought into Sol. Okay, good. Very good. Yeah, I mean, I've been successful on a lot of swing trades. The Circle one was a bad one. So now I just have to make up for those losses. Pure profit. And that's the easiest way to do it. It's just like you buy and you hold and you wait for the big profits. That's the easiest way to trade. So a very large short-term capital gain sale can negate the 0% long-term capital gains tax. No, you still make money. You still make money. You just make less if it's a short-term capital gain. That's all. If you make $250,000 gross short-term and $250,000 gross long-term, the short-term you keep about $150 And the long term, you keep about 200. You keep more of it, or you don't pay as much tax on the long term. That's all. You still make money. I mean, that's just federal. It depends on what state you're in. If you're in the US. Now that I'm in Florida, my state will be zero. Up in Massachusetts, I had to pay them $50,000 state tax last year on my capital gains. $50,000 to the Commonwealth of Massachusetts. For what? So, yeah, I wait. You're welcome. Canton, they say, is a banker's token like XRP. Yeah, I haven't looked at it. Mike says correct. I know, 50K. And you know what the state's going to use it for? A state like Massachusetts, give it away to people who don't deserve it. That's what they're going to do with it. The Commonwealth of Massachusetts thanks you. Yeah. State of Florida, a zero. So next bull cycle, all my profits, I pay the IRS, the federal, but a zero state. Yeah. I mean, I had that built in because I knew I was going to have both federal and state for the last bull cycle. But that's where my job was. That's where I was working. So I wasn't ready to give that up yet. But once I made the money, then I was like, okay, now I'm financially free. I don't have to work for anybody else anymore. I don't have to do that anymore. I work for me now. I do what I want to do. So, yeah. And it's quite a different lifestyle. Quite a different lifestyle. But I do a lot more fun things now that I just didn't have time to do before. And I like that. That's good. We'll start to see the House of Doge go up when they start making money. Right now, they're not making any money. I want to know, where's such pay? All this thing about such pay. It's like, where is it? Who's using it? How are you supporting it? You got to get that out there. If that's your app, you got to make money. House of Doge is not making any money right now. Well, I mean, they made 40% on their Dogecoin stash. However many Dogecoin they have, the value of that went up. But that's not making money. That's, that's just in your coffers. But no, how are you making money as a business, as a company? That's what I want to see. They've been spending. They've been doing these brand deals, but you got to make money for your stock to go up. They're not making money. So what do we think XRP? Still below $1.50, still kind of fighting this $1.50 line now. If XRP retraces, I've got $1.13 as a target on XRP, $1.13 on the downside. Are we going to see that? I can always do new fib lines, but that's boring, right? New fib lines. 0.618 from here, if I go to the top, would be $1.26. So I can do new ones based on the whole move. Something I've been thinking about. Should we redo these lines and do the whole move up to Friday night? Because that would then That would then take this line and would be $1.26 or so. Oh, I grabbed that by mistake. So that would raise the bottom up to 126. On Dogecoin, what would that do? If we do the whole move all the way up, it would be 8.16. 8.16. That's what it would be for Doge. I kind of think if it's going down anywhere near 8 cents, it would probably dip to $7.99. That's what I would guess. What would be Bitcoins while we're here, right? While we're here doing these whole measured moves, what would Bitcoins be? 70,000. It'd be 70,000. Not too different from 68,250. Because Bitcoin didn't move as much. Somebody tried to tell me that Bitcoin had outperformed Doge. No, it did not. Bitcoin went up 25%. Doge went up 40%. The numbers don't lie. I'm just saying. I always buy coins to make quick gains. 10% in futures, sometimes more than 10 coins. But the most I made was with Doge DCA, just bought. Yeah. It not always goes to plan with stocks or crypto. It's both gambling. The AI circular market will burst. There's a lot of late coming AI plays that are happening, but the companies that are still making chips and making memory storage are still making a lot of money. They're not bursting. It's the ones that are doing the pretend AI stuff that aren't really making money. Those are the companies you don't want to be in. That price went up because of hype or something that they thought they were going to do. Flipping over to another coin, not always work. Right? You don't go from Bitcoin back into Doge until the next bear market. You got to play the right time. You got to play the right time. Because the next bear market, Dogecoin will go down more than Bitcoin. You don't want to be in Dogecoin at the end of a bull market going into a bear market, investing-wise. Now, most of you just hold Doge whatever, and you've got all the time in the world. I'm selling some, taking profit. That amount of Doge, you don't flip it to Bitcoin after a bear market. You'll have less Bitcoin then. So this is what Google AI is telling me. If your ordinary income combined with your short-term capital gains fills the bucket past 98.9, there's no room. Yeah, I don't know what's going to go on with that. I don't know next year. The filling the bucket thing, I don't know. Every dollar of your long-term capital gains starts spilling over. Yeah, I don't, again, next year, I'm not a tax expert. I haven't looked at next year yet, so I don't know. I see everything. Structure is still bearish until we break 82.5 on Bitcoin. 82.5. Where does that come from? That would be here, right? That would be the May high. Right, because that would be the higher high. We don't have a higher high yet. It's still a lower high at 80,000. Because again, we were up here, 82.5. And so this is a lower high. Yep. You are correct. Manuel says we're in a bear market still. I agree until we get a higher high. We don't have confirmation of that. So yes, Dogecoin's high back in May was 11.8 cents. So this is a lower high for Dogecoin too. So yes, still bear market. It's a nice run, 40% run. And I am not doing my sell limits yet. Handle. I'm waiting to see how the rest of this bear market plays out. And then this fall, I'm going to start doing my forecasting for the next bull cycle. Hey, Matt, the other day I pulled up next to a car at the light. Their license plate read Bitcoin. I asked them if they're a long-term investor, and they just said buy and hold. OpenAI won't have profit for 50 years. I don't know how that's going to work. Again, I'm just looking at the chip companies and the memory companies. The actual AI company, I don't know. I mean, China's going to be giving it away for free, so. Bankrupt the global economy? I don't think so. CUF1. How much over 20 cents? Again, I'm going to start to look at all of that in the fall. Forecasting. Homegirl, how are you? Long sideways? Could be. We'll see if Doge holds up here right now, back over 9 cents. So it's holding up pretty well. If it goes up more, what's a good buy zone? Well, then we would be looking at dips into the 8.889 range. And we say goodbye to the lower rates. TSMC is cool until it makes a move. I haven't looked at the stock. 60% rate hike before 2027. Who's hiking rates? You're talking about interest rates? I don't see the Fed raising interest rates. We've got Warsh giving a speech on Friday out in Jackson Hole. So it could be a little volatility based on what he says on Friday. And then the next FOMC is in September, most likely not going to raise rates or cut rates again. So that leaves October and December. We'll see. I don't think China is going to be sabotaging TSMC factories. I think China just keeps playing their little war games. They're not going after Taiwan anytime soon. So, yeah. So, yeah. Jackson Hole. Riot. All right, gang. Yeah, I'll start looking at other coins too in the fall. So I don't know where Pengu will be in a year, but we'll start mapping all of that out. I need to make sure that this whole bear market's over yet. Hey, Alex, we talked about Zone earlier. Yeah, they did an offering, fully diluted, like a ton of new shares, and they're going AI. Are they going to be profitable with their AI venture? They had to sell a lot of Dogecoin, 480 million Doge, 460, however many they had, 460 million Dogecoin they sold near the bottom. And then they did the stock offering. And so they got a bunch of cash to be able to use to spend on AI. And we'll see whether they're profitable or not. I don't know. I don't know. Yeah, I don't think China's going to be invading anytime soon. No. Yep, Doge is back above 9 cents. So this is where we ended today. Doge holding up well. Is this going to be a sideways thing through the week? Is it going to go up higher? Is it going to go lower? We will be tracking that. I'll be live again on Wednesday. So make sure you're subscribed. You got your notifications on. I'll have videos coming out too to give daily updates. So be sure to watch those. There's a lot going on in crypto right now. We're trying to figure out this market here in August, still August 2026. So I hope everyone has a great evening, and we'll see you next time.
Dogecoin, which started as a complete joke, has like skyrocketed to not a joke anymore. It hit an all-time high of almost 10 cents yesterday, but it was so minuscule you wouldn't have understood why you have millions of shares.
Didn't Elon tweet that too?
And arguably, the most entertaining outcome and the most ironic outcome would be that Dogecoin becomes the currency of Earth in the future.